What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on NBA Countdown, they're going to be talking about how Ja Morant has been suspended again for caught waving a gun around on social media. So let's see what they have to say about that.
It is not clear when the video was taken. The Grizzlies released a statement this morning. You see it here. We are aware of the social media video involving Ja Morant. He is suspended from all team activities pending league review. We have no further comment at this time.
Are you kidding me? Again?
Our senior insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, is here. And, of course, you have been on the phone all day long with practically everyone, I'm sure, around the league. What are the things that you can tell our audience that we don't yet know?
Greeny, Ja Morant is facing the very real possibility of a suspension, a lengthy suspension, to start next season after this latest incident with he and an apparent firearm in his possession. This is twice in 2 months now. The league suspended him for 8 games, really 2 of them retroactive to really just 2 games earlier this season. I sense already today that Adam Silver is going to feel increasing pressure from other teams in the league who see this as much as it impacts the Grizzlies, that it impacts them and their ability to market their players and their teams. I think there was a sense with that 8-game suspension earlier and during last season, and that Adam Silver showed some restraint in that edict with Ja Morant, took him at his word that he would make better decisions. They met in the league headquarters. Now, the league's investigating. They're still going now to make sure that this was a legitimate video, that it wasn't doctored in some way. But I think there is a real possibility, if that is what it appeared to be, a weapon in Ja Morant's hand, he again is going to likely face a significant suspension to start next season. The commissioner has pretty wide-ranging latitude in terms of best interests of the league, conduct detrimental to the NBA, to suspend Ja Morant without pay for a significant period to start the season.
All right, we will keep.
They're probably going to knock him down for a year. Excuse me. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous that this guy gets caught again on social media with a gun. I mean, it just doesn't make any type of sense. I mean, he has this huge contract. He has all these things going for him and gets caught with a gun again. Adam Silver is probably sitting there like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, it doesn't make any type of sense.
A close eye on that. Obviously, Woj, you'll be working the phone all day long, and as there is further information, we will bring it to you. You will also hear from Jalen Rose, who sat down with Ja Morant just some 2 months ago in the wake of the first incident, and we will get his thoughts on this, plus Stephen A's thoughts, plus Michael Wilbon's thoughts as well. In his left hand, it is not.
I mean, if you see the video, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. He's up there having a good time with his friend, and somehow, well, he busts out a gun, and then somebody somehow got the video, saw it live, and then turned him in. I mean, it doesn't make any type of sense. I mean, you just got in trouble for having a gun, and you put yourself in the same situation again. It doesn't make any sense. They're going to knock this dude down for a year, probably.
Clear when that video was taken. This is the statement the Grizzlies released this morning. You see it there. We are aware of the social media video involving Ja Morant. He is suspended from all team activities pending league review. We have no further comment at this time. Adrian Wojnarowski earlier this morning shared further information, including the possibility that Morant could be facing a lengthy suspension from the NBA after an investigation has been completed. We thought it appropriate that everybody would get to react to this once today. Stephen A., I will start with you.
I'm telling you, they're going to knock this dude down for a year, for a whole season, to make an example out of him, because you cannot have people start walking around and waving guns around, even though we've seen it in the past. But they just don't want to set that precedence that you're not going to get in trouble for waving a gun around and having a gun around. There's too many kids watching. There's too much money in the league to start that type of reputation of guys having guns and that nature. I mean, this doesn't make any type of sense. And to make things even worse, he was listening to NBA YoungBoy when he was up there flashing that gun around. So that's just going to make people look at music, even rap music, even worse, and look at that in a bad light, that he's been influenced by the music. At this point, this is all on Ja Morant, and whatever comes his way, he deserves it. To get caught again, and hadn't even been 6 months since he's been in trouble for the last time having a gun, and he does it again. I tell you, Adam Silver is probably like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, and they're going to slam this dude. I mean, it doesn't make sense, and it's really sad.
It's really hard to put this into words, but I'm going to try. As you know, I'm a Knicks fan, and we've talked about R.J. Barrett. Between Zion Williamson's body and Ja Morant's stupidity, R.J. Barrett might end up being the best pick. You know, when you look at some of the things that has transpired, Ja Morant has already been suspended for 8 games, cost himself forfeited over $600,000. You know what the biggest issue here is? It's self-inflicted. It was his Instagram post that exposed the initial situation with him holding a gun that got him suspended. Now, with this latest video, it's somebody that he's with deciding to go on Instagram Live. This is not TMZ or somebody finding out something and digging it from. It's self-inflicted. And I'm just imagining, because I remember speaking to Draymond Green on his podcast earlier this year, and one of the things he raved about when he talked about Ja Morant, he said Ja Morant is one of the most intelligent players in the game and one of the most intelligent athletes you will ever find. So if we want to eradicate the word stupidity, then we have to go to something deeper. There's got to be a problem here. Now, whether it's with the company you keep or other things that you're doing that lead to you making these...
No, he's going to have to own this. This is all on him. He knows better. He's not a child. He knows better. It's not anybody else. I mean, it could be kind of, but it's all on him. He's the one that's deciding decisions of his life. It's not on anybody else but Ja Morant. Especially the second time you get caught. Nah, this is all on you, Ja.
Foolish, idiotic decisions. There is no question. There's a problem somewhere. There's a problem somewhere. And ultimately it comes back to Ja Morant because he is not a child. He is a young man. He knows better in regard. He's the one with a young child. He's the one with a family. He's the one on the basketball court. He's the one that got to the extension kicking in this upcoming next year that starts. At the beginning, a 5-year, potentially $231 million contract. He's the one with a signature shoe with Nike. He's the one with the Powerade contract. You got all of this stuff going on and everything's in jeopardy, and yet it's self-inflicted? To me, obviously the NBA is likely going to step in. They're not going to leave it just up to the Memphis Grizzlies. They've got to make a statement here to protect their brand. I expect a double-digit game suspension, a lengthy suspension for Ja Morant to begin next season, and there isn't a single damn one of us that can say he doesn't deserve it based on this nonsense.
I'll remind.
And what this does, this isn't just make Ja look bad. It makes all the people that help defend Ja and try to get him through this first situation. Because what it does, it makes everybody else look stupid that defended him. Because now you look like a fool. He made everybody that defend him look like a fool. Everybody say, oh no, Ja's a good dude. He's not a bad guy. He just got caught with the gun. He was just having fun, yada, yada. Now we look stupid for trying to defend Ja and his stupid actions. And here he goes and does it again. And if you see the video, he's acting like a complete fool. It's like, what are you doing? If you like guns, no problem. That's no problem at all. I like guns too. Everybody likes guns. But go to the range to shoot guns. You don't need to be carrying guns on you like you're some type of thug and you have the ops coming after you. It just doesn't make any type of sense for him to be doing this type of thing. I don't understand why he can't just chill. Why can't you just chill, man? It doesn't make any type of sense for him to blow it like this. They're about to slam this dude, and whatever they give him, I'm all for it, because you cannot have this. Maybe having him be suspended for a year and have him be completely away from having no access to NBA games, no access to anything with the NBA, have him just be sitting at home or have no contact with the NBA. Maybe that would show him what would happen if he actually gets fully kicked on out of the league. Because if his life is basically basketball. So if he can't do what he loves the most and he's away from, maybe he'll start to realize and see what it's like to be a little bit retired from the league and no longer be able to play and do what you want to do. It just doesn't make any sense. It's really sad.
Everyone, that after the previous incident, Jalen Rose had the opportunity to sit down with Ja Morant in the first interview that Morant did after meeting with the commissioner and all the rest of that. And so with that perspective in mind and the fact that you have had a chance to talk to him, Jalen, what were your thoughts when you saw that video now?
It's really unfortunate. And the one thing we learn as athletes, in particular those that are fortunate enough to make it to the professional ranks, is that we're required to be role models. We're required to be eligible, and we're required to be role models. And that doesn't necessarily serve in other professions as entertainers, whether you're an artist or whether you're an actor. A lot of times this type of behavior is celebrated and or promoted. But when you're an athlete, it's punished. And for Ja to put himself in this situation just a short time after that scenario happened, I agree with Stephen A. This is going to be a 20-25 game suspension. It's unfortunate also for the organization because now it puts a damper going into next season. How well can you play if you're going to miss Ja Morant for so many games? But also, I gotta also say this. He is 23. He just finished his 4th year in the league. And I'm personally just glad that social media didn't exist when I was in college or when I was in the league. Because like I said before, I put myself in a lot of questionable positions and made a lot of poor decisions like we see him making right now. So I'm not going to talk about it like it's the end for him. I think there's still a future for him to still reclaim his decision making and put himself in position to not only be a role model, a parent, but also a productive NBA player with a unique perspective.
Nah. See, this is you weren't on this type of level that Ja is at. You weren't on that type of level, and he's just got in trouble for making those terrible decisions when he got caught with the gun the first time. There is no excuse for this at all. And to say you wish there was no social media or anything like that, no. This is all on Ja making these stupid decisions, no matter what social media or whatever. This is all on him. This just doesn't make any type of sense at all, and there's no excuse for it. They're probably going to slam him for a year, and he's going to need it. This doesn't make any type of sense. There's none of this trying to excuse it or downplay what he did by saying, well, I was dumb too. When I was young, I did stupid things. No. You weren't on this type of level. Ja knows better. He has a lot more to lose than what he had when he was at the same level. I mean, it just doesn't make any type of sense. It's really sad. And you know how long it's going to take to have to build back people's respect and have people to trust you? After the second time of being caught brandishing a weapon, it's going to take forever to build people's confidence back in you. I mean, it just doesn't make any type of sense. But I hope eventually when it's all said and done, he's able to learn from this and, move forward. But it's going to take forever. And he's always going to have these 2 monkeys on his back of carrying weapons and things of that nature. And he's still young, so he still has a lot of time to make mistakes. So I don't know. We'll have to see where this leads up to.